You need to draft these 5 league-winning running backs in 2023 fantasy football, starting with Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, one of the most important qualities of a league winner is upside, and of course, we all know that Jonathan Taylor has tons of that. In 2021, obviously the running back won in fantasy football. As you can see on the screen, per game numbers were stupid good. Jonathan Taylor has tons and tons of upside in fantasy football. But here's the other thing about potential league winners. Sometimes they're a little bit risky, and Jonathan Taylor certainly has risk attached to him this season. Jonathan Taylor obviously is going through the hold-in situation with Indianapolis. Jim Irsay, the owner, has not helped at all. He looks like a moron during this whole thing. But this whole thing is definitely annoying because Jonathan Taylor still should be excellent this year if he just plays. Well, here's the thing. I think he's going to play this year because he has no choice. He simply has no choice. He missed last season due to injury, most of the season wiped away. He needs to get a big contract, and the only way he secures that is by having a great season this year. The reports that I've heard are that he was really specifically charged up after that running back Zoom call, and that's really what led the charge for his decision to go ahead and hold in. I think it's not going to last. I think Jonathan Taylor will play this year, and when he does, you're going to see a more efficient Jonathan Taylor this year because they have Anthony Richardson now. Anthony Richardson, first-round quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Tremendous athlete. If you don't know who Anthony Richardson is, you can see a highlight play on the screen right there. Anthony Richardson is just a freak of a human being. Now, the problem with running quarterback is typically that running quarterbacks are not going to check the ball down to you. Because they have legs of their own, their first instinct when they face pressure in their face is not to check the ball down to their running back. That's the instinct of a guy who is a pocket passer. Someone like a Mac Jones, a Jared Goff, a Matt Ryan. Somebody who can't move. So when Jonathan Taylor had Phillip Rivers in 2021, that was good for Jonathan Taylor. He ended up with over 50 targets in 2021. That's not going to happen here. But the good thing about it is that if you take away the targets, he's going to be more efficient because now the defense has to worry about stopping 2 rushing threats. They've got Jonathan Taylor and they've got Anthony Richardson. So Jonathan Taylor is going to come out as a more efficient running back, and that has been proven with running quarterbacks and their running backs over the years. Miles Sanders with Jalen Hurts, J.K. Dobbins with Lamar Jackson. And I'll tell you what, his running back 8 price on both Underdog and ESPN are fantastic because he's going in the mid to late second round now. You're talking about a running back with running back 1 upside going in the late second round. I will take that all day, and the reality is his price is still going down. As long as he is not with the team, his price will go down. We need to take advantage of that right now because I'm telling you, Jonathan Taylor absolutely has league-winning upside. Much like our next guy on the list, Jerrick McKinnon of the Kansas City Chiefs absolutely has league-winning upside. So what's interesting about Jerrick McKinnon is he actually did this last year. When you look at data last year of players who were most commonly on league-winning teams in fantasy football, Jerrick McKinnon was on over 50% of winning fantasy teams last year. So he did it last year, and I'm telling you, I think he's going to do it again this year for 2 main reasons. So when you look at his season-long stats, nothing stands out. You can see it on the screen. Nothing really stands out here. Obviously, he's not a carry guy. Where he gets his full momentum and where he gets that upside is through the passing game. But truth be told, looking at the season-long stats for Jerrick McKinnon, flat out does not tell the full story. So when we look at the game log specifically of Jerrick McKinnon, what you'll see is that he didn't start crushing it until the back half of the season. Now, why is that? Well, the reason is when Kansas City Chiefs selected Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back out of LSU, back in 2020, they selected him in the first round. So essentially what they did was they locked themselves in, for better or worse, to trying to make Clyde Edwards-Helaire work because guess what? NFL teams don't like admitting they were wrong on their first round pick. That's what happened for years, and all we saw, unfortunately, was the bad with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and that's what Kansas City saw. So Kansas City had a decision to make around midseason. When Clyde Edwards-Helaire was not producing, he ended up actually getting injured, and Kansas City stopped using him after their bye week. Well, is it any coincidence that during that same time frame, that's when Jerrick McKinnon started to catch fire? That's because they made a better system. Kansas City made a better running back system. they had Isaiah Pacheco handling all of the carries, and they had Jerrick McKinnon in on passing downs. He was handling the passing down situations. The second reason I think he's going to do it again is because of the price here. The price here is so important because he's going as the running back 41 on Underdog and the running back 38 on ESPN. Now, obviously, guys, Isaiah Pacheco is going to take this running back workload. He's going to be the primary carry back for Kansas City. So that will cap Jerrick McKinnon's upside for sure. But just doing what he did last year in the back half of the season, he finishes the running back 21 in half PPR. I'm telling you, we could see another top 25 running back season for Jerrick McKinnon, because take what he did last season at the back half of the season and apply it to a full season now that they are not worrying about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If they stick with that formula they used in the back half of the season for the whole season, Jerrick McKinnon absolutely has that league-winning upside at that price. Now, moving on to our next running back, it is Rhamondre Stevenson of the New England Patriots, man. I'm telling you, man, Rhamondre Stevenson is such a slam dunk this year in fantasy football. What he did last year was, honestly, when you look at it, it may not look impressive in certain categories, like with his carries per game, 12.4 carries per game, nothing special, right? But what he did was really impressive in two categories. He had 5 yards a carry, and then when you look at his receiving upside, had over 5 targets a game. Great pass catching running back. Now, here's why you can count on improvement from Rhamondre Stevenson in fantasy football this season. Damian Harris was on the New England Patriots last year, and what Damian Harris did was be super annoying for all Rhamondre Stevenson fantasy owners. He came in and took over 100 opportunities away from Rhamondre Stevenson. Well, that's the thing. Rhamondre Stevenson does not have Damian Harris in the building anymore. When you look at the depth chart on the screen, you can see that there's really nobody in that room who's going to do anything. And honestly, it's like, if I was running a team, right, I'm going to put myself in Bill Belichick's shoes. If I was running a team and that was my running back depth chart, I would be looking at options on the free agent market right now. And that's why I do expect New England will sign a free agent running back. But here's one thing we do know. Out of all the running backs on the market, the big names, Dalvin Cook, Zeke Elliott, Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette, well, one of them is out. Dalvin Cook is reportedly, the New England Patriots are out on him. He just wants too much money. So when you take Dalvin out of the mix, none of those other guys scare me when it comes to Rhamondre Stevenson, because we know he's the more efficient running back than all of them, and that pass catching upside is going to hold up because he has the quarterback to do it. Mac Jones doesn't run, can't move. That's why you get the dump offs from Rhamondre Stevenson from Mac Jones. You can count on that again, and I'm telling you, man, this guy has a top 5 ceiling. If they don't end up doing anything big, Rhamondre Stevenson is going to be a freaking workhorse this year, man. I am telling you, target him on ESPN because his running back 14 price on ESPN is fantastic. You're getting him in the 3rd round with a top 5 ceiling. This is tremendous value. Moving on to our next running back, it is Travis Etienne of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm telling you guys this right now, Travis Etienne is this year's Josh Jacobs. Now, the difference here between the two is that Travis Etienne does not have the same price as Josh Jacobs did last year. You could get Josh Jacobs in the 5th, 6th, even 7th round last year. Travis Etienne, you're getting him in the 3rd or 4th round typically. So he doesn't have that type of price attached to him. But he has so many similarities, and he has basically the same concerns. So last year, what was the concern with Josh Jacobs early in the season during the offseason? During this time last year, the big concern was Zamir White. The rookie running back draft pick for the Las Vegas Raiders at the time came out, was good in the Hall of Fame game. Josh Jacobs played way more than he should have in that game, and everyone started panicking on Josh Jacobs. Well, now with hindsight being always 2020, that was a laughable concern. That's hilarious to think back on that we were concerned about that at the time. What's the same thing with Travis Etienne this year? The concern with him is now Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby was a 3rd round running back draft pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year out of Auburn. He's the main concern right now. And I'm telling you, I think we're going to be looking at the same type of deal where we look back and laugh at that concern at the end of the season. And let me tell you why. So when you look at Etienne in 2022, from a season-long perspective, he was up and down. There was up and down moments for him. He wasn't impressive in every category, and he had the running back 17 finish. But that doesn't tell the full story here with Travis Etienne. When you think about Travis Etienne's second year last year in 2022, the first half of the season, the Jacksonville Jaguars still had James Robinson, who is basically out of the league now. James Robinson was vulturing so much work away from Travis Etienne, to the point where Travis Etienne was only handling 46% of the team's running back carries last year. It was stupid how much they were giving him the ball. And it really showed with the team, because the team during that time went 2-5 in weeks 1 through 7. So then what happened? The Jacksonville Jaguars had to look at themselves in the mirror and said, James Robinson is not efficient anymore. He's not really doing much with his touches. On the other hand, Travis Etienne is super efficient right now. We have to get the ball in our first round draft picks' hands. So they did that. They shipped James Robinson out of town for a bag of peanuts. And they said, this is your team now, Travis Etienne, to the tune of giving him 72% of this team's running back carries weeks 8 through 18. So as you could see, the back half of his season was way more dominant than the front half, and they trusted him a lot more, and it paid off. As NFL teams, they have a difference of opinion from fantasy managers. Obviously, as fantasy managers, we are interested in fantasy football success. Now, what we have to realize is that NFL teams do not care about that. They're interested in winning games to keep their own jobs. So we as fantasy managers, and I take this on myself, it's my responsibility to find that trend and to follow that priority of NFL teams to finding our fantasy successful guys. And the team went 7-3 weeks 8 through 18 with Travis Etienne handling the ball 72% of the times for his running back carries. That's why I know this team is going to feature Travis Etienne in this offense. And recently, head coach Doug Peterson said that he wants Travis Etienne to get 16 to 1,700 rushing yards in 2023. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to happen, but I absolutely think that we're looking at a 13 to 1,400 yard season for Travis Etienne on the ground. He is going to be tremendous this year, and he, of course, has the big plays attached to him with that efficiency. And I'm telling you this, the running back 14 price and underdog, the third round, is awesome. You do not want to miss out on Travis Etienne in either underdog leagues or ESPN leagues. Now, moving on to our last guy on the list, it is Javonte Williams of the Denver Broncos, man. Let me tell you this, I would have never thought Javonte Williams would be on this list back in June. Never would have thought this would actually happen, man. This is a pretty recent development, man. And here's the thing. The reason I never would have thought this is because typically I am not big on drafting running backs coming off of torn ACL seasons. That is something I usually do not do in fantasy football. But this is a very unique case. 2 months ago, I never thought that Javonte Williams, based on reports we were hearing, was going to be ready during the beginning of the season. Javonte Williams is now back and doesn't have any limitations right now. No limitations. He shocked everybody. Shocked his team, definitely shocked me. And we all know that he has the upside. He's a great running back. He is a great pass-catching running back. And the thing is, his price is going up as we speak. Literally as we speak. He's the running back 25 on Underdog and the running back 30 on ESPN. You have to draft him today. And if you're in an ESPN league and you don't draft until later this month, if you want to draft Javonte Williams today, make sure to go to Underdog with the link in the comments below and use code FFN, and they will match your first deposit up to $100 so you can get in on one of these big high-stakes tournament leagues and you can draft Javonte Williams. And if you want to see who some must-draft wide receivers are this year, click on this video right here.